Good afternoon. Today is June 2nd, 2021. This is, of course, 2 o'clock calendar. I know I just had to cut somebody's screen because he's improperly dressed for court, but we'll come back to him. Position 1, Eugene Lamar. Anybody representing this Eugene Lamar?
I am, Judge. In this case, we kept resetting it because he wasn't being produced to the jail. And I think on this time, we were supposed to try to have the prison on the line, but they're not.
We do have somebody who's here with the Department of Corrections.
Oh.
Yes, you.
Eugene Lamar.
He's here.
I didn't see him. Okay, perfect.
You need to talk to him?
I do, Judge.
Okay, I'll come back. Position 2, Kalani Williams.
Your Honor, that's my client, and today we'll be entering a not guilty and waiving formal arraignment.
Okay, where is she?
She is in the jail.
Kalani Williams. Can she come to the podium?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you Kalani Williams?
Say it again.
Are you Kalani Williams?
No, I'm
What's your-
Alexander. Alexander.
William.
No.
William.
Hold on.
I need Kalani Williams.
William. You know that name?
It may be a male.
It's a female, Your Honor.
Female.
It's a female, Your Honor. I believe I spoke with her yesterday.
Are you Kalani Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Williams, your attorney has advised that you will be entering a plea of not guilty and waiving formal arraignment today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, not guilty noted. Who's here from the clerk's office? No, nothing in my list.
Looks like Allison Mathis, Judge.
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
The names keep jumping. Okay, Ms. Mathis, thank you. Note that for the record. Ms. Williams, you're free to go back.
Oh, wait, that's it?
That's it, yes.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Position 3, Joe Brown.
That's my client, Your Honor.
Okay, is he in jail?
I attempted to reach him in jail and I couldn't find him, so I don't know the answer to that.
Okay. Is a Joe Brown there in custody with you all?
No, ma'am. When I looked up his name, it said loaned out from jail. I'm not really sure what that means, but he's not in
Okay.
custody.
You don't know where he would have gone? You don't know? Is that probably,
I'm sorry, I don't see it on the system.
okay. Probably means another facility has picked him up. Yes, ma'am. Okay, we have to do some research to find out where he is, so we'll just take that off. Position 3, position 4, Emmanuel Armstrong.
Good afternoon, Judge. That's my case, Kenneth Muhammad.
Good afternoon, Mr. Muhammad. Mr. Armstrong, for arraignment, please.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your announcement, Mr. Muhammad?
We're waiving formal arraignment. He's entering a not guilty plea.
Okay.
Close the door, close it. No, close
Good afternoon. Are you Mr. Emmanuel Armstrong?
it. Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney has advised that you'll be waiving formal arraignment and entering a plea of not guilty today. Is that correct?
Ma'am.
Is that a yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very well. All right, Ms. Mathis, you will note that for the clerk's file. Thank you, sir. You're free to go back.
Ma'am.
Position 5, Gabriel Alexander. Gabriel Marie Alexander.
Yes, Your Honor, that's my case. Will Moran here on behalf of Ms. Alexander.
Okay,
We are going to be entering a plea of not guilty, waiving formal arraignment and requesting 10 days to file additional motions. I would request that if Your Honor would allow it to be heard on the issue of bond after the call of calendar, it would be a consent motion.
you already have consented to the bond?
I spoke with Ms. Miller, who about 40 minutes ago, who has said that she would consent to a new bond being put in place.
Well, you just send me a consent.
Okay, I'd
You
be
don't
happy
have to be
do
heard
that.
on it.
Who
Just
should I
send it to
send
me.
that consent order to?
Give me 1 second. Ms. Alexander,
Yes, ma'am.
your attorney has advised that you are waiving formal arraignment and entering a plea of not guilty today.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, not guilty. What's the consent agreement on the bond?
Your Honor, the state has offered a $5,000 bond. She initially had a bond and then failed to appear, so we're offering a new bond for her.
Okay, sir, you can email that to actually, you can send it to my secretary, simone.lee@claytoncountyga.gov.
Is that L-E-E, Your Honor, or L-E-I-G-H?
L-E-E,
Simone.lee@claytoncountyga.gov?
yes.
All right, thank you very much, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Thank
I'll
you.
send that out later today.
All right, very well. Position 6, Antonio Ascamila. Ma'am, you're free to go back.
Ma'am.
Position 6,
What is it?
who's representing him? Mr. Moran, you can find that email address in the chat, and then
Thank
you're
you very
free
much,
to
Mom.
leave.
And that
Are you-
concludes my business with the court today. Maybe I'll be excused.
You may be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor, and thank you, Ms. Miller.
Mr. Escamilla?
Right.
Okay, who's representing him?
I believe I do, Your Honor.
Do you need to talk to him, or are you prepared to make an announcement?
I need to talk to him, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, Your Honor, I apologize. Carolyn Scrawl actually has his case, not me.
Okay, is Ms. Gall on? Okay, Carlin Stahl. Mr. Escamilla, let me come back to you. Let me find your lawyer.
Don't wait for me already.
Okay, position 7, Javarius Hunter.
Two.
Javarius Hunter. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I just said, really, yeah, we like.
Are you Javarius Hunter?
Yes, ma'am.
And what's the announcement, Ms. Porter?
Not guilty, waiving formal arraignment, and we'll ask for time to file motions, Your
2
Honor.
days. Okay, Mr. Hunter, your attorney is advising me that you are waiving formal arraignment and entering a plea of not guilty today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, not guilty. My clerk will note it. You're free to go back. You're free to go back, sir. And then as to LaDonte Williams, is that going to be a plea today?
Sorry, Your Honor, needed to check back in. Yes, that is a plea today, Your Honor.
All right.
And Your Honor, I do have one walk-in on the arraignment. He's not on the arraignment calendar. He missed arraignment, I believe last month, in his warrant. So we would like to, if the court is willing to at some point, put his arraignment on the record and have that warrant lifted.
Who is he?
Mr. Ryan Hobdy,
Spell his last name.
H-O, B as in boy, D as in David, Y.
Ryan.
Yes, R-Y-A-N.
And where is he?
Mr. Hobdy, please turn your camera on.
She turned it off.
Now, if he's a gentleman who has that white beater on, I'm not gonna.
No, I got together.
You got it together? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me find you in my participants list. Because you in court, you don't come to court dressed like that.
No, I just got this email just right now. I
Okay.
didn't.
All right.
I was out and about.
I'm gonna turn your camera back on, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there you are. There you go. All right. Was there a bench warrant issued?
There was, Your Honor.
Okay, what's the posture of the state?
Your Honor, we would object to having that recalled at this time. I haven't heard anything to indicate why he missed court or whether there was any reason.
Your Honor, if I remember correctly, the day that he was scheduled to appear in court, he attempted to and couldn't get his camera to come on. And so he was marked as not being in court because he couldn't get himself together Zoom-wise. And I don't think that we realized that a warrant was issued at that point. But as soon as he found out that one was issued, he contacted my office and asked to be able to come before Your Honor and to clear both the arraignment that was missed as well as the warrant.
Yeah.
Okay, what says you, Ms. Miller?
Can I say something?
No, I'll let you talk to your lawyer.
And Your Honor, I don't have an independent recollection of that, but we would just leave it at the court's discretion. Our position is typically not to do a recall unless there's a notice issue or something like that.
Okay. What date was it, Ms. Porter? Do you remember?
I believe it was 4/24, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure. He just reached out and like literally within 2 minutes before court starting, I said, get on the call right now so we can see if the judge is willing to.
Okay. It was on 4/29. I'll just pull the video. Just
Okay.
a moment. Ms. Luncheon, are you ready to talk to your client in the breakout room?
Ready, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else needs to talk to their clients in the breakout room? Okay. Corrections, if you will go ahead and accept that invitation for the breakout room, and Mr. Lamar can speak to his attorney privately. All right. Mr. Hobdy, go ahead and mute your camera. I'm gonna go pull the video from the time that you were here, and I'll come back to you. No. Who's this gentleman walking away?
That was LaDonte Williams, I believe.
No, I don't mean you, Mr. Williams. We're gonna do your plea now. Mr. Hobdy. Mr. Williams, stay right there. I'm gonna take your plea. Mr. Hobdy, mute your camera.
I did.
No, you did. I can still see you. Okay, here we are. All right, the state of Georgia versus LaDonte Williams, case number 2021 CR 00983. Sir, go ahead and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony that you're going to give should be the truth, the whole truth, under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Okay, sir, do you understand that you're before the court currently charged with trafficking in, you can put your hand down, trafficking in ecstasy, possession of ecstasy with intent to distribute, possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, possession of marijuana with intent to distribute, possession of marijuana more than an ounce, theft by receiving stolen property, theft by receiving stolen property in another count, theft by receiving stolen property in a third count, and theft by receiving stolen property in a fourth count. So there are currently 9 counts against you, sir. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay, Ms. Miller, go ahead and present a factual basis for those charges.
Thank you, Your Honor. On January 2nd, 2020, officers executed simultaneous search warrants at 5248 Joan of Arc Place in Clayton County, as well as 3100 Godby Road in Fulton County as part of a coordinated 6-month investigation into narcotic and gang activity at those locations. At the Joan of Arc Place location in Clayton County, officers located numerous firearms, including 3 that were stolen out of Cobb in Clayton County, as well as over 600 grams of marijuana, 89 grams of MDMA or ecstasy in several packages throughout the residence. At that time, they spoke with a Donald Williams and Jawan Williams, who are the grandfather and brother of this defendant, respectively. They told law enforcement that the defendant comes over to the residence to stash drugs and weapons. They further advised that there was a stolen dog at the residence. An investigation revealed that dog to be involved in a Rockdale County auto and animal theft case. At the 3100 Godby Road location, officers located the defendant. He did agree to speak with them and advised that all of the firearms and narcotics at the Clayton County residence were his. He also advised that he knew the firearms were stolen and referred to himself as an illegal collector of weapons. He also advised that the dog was stolen and he had hid it at that location to avoid detection by the owners, who had searched the Fulton County location for the animal. And then he admitted that he sells narcotics out of the residence.
Sir, do you have any major disagreement with the facts that's presented?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Your attorney has provided to me a plea form. It is a written statement that indicates that you wish to enter a guilty plea pursuant to terms and conditions that have been negotiated by your attorney and the assistant district attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read and sign the plea form and have an opportunity to discuss its content with your attorney?
Yes, well, a couple discrepancies though that I need cleared up.
And the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are the discrepancies in the plea form?
The amount of time that I've already served, the 17 months going as far as.
Plea form. So your attorney and you had a discussion about your rights that you're giving up in exchange for your plea. Did he explain to you the charges against you? That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there's a discrepancy in those?
No, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll get to everything else, but as it relates to the rights that you I just need to understand that you understand your rights right now.
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, do you certify that the statements contained in the attorney certificate are true and that you properly advise your client of all of his rights as contained herein?
Yes, Your Honor, I met with my client. We went through it thoroughly.
Okay, and you're fully satisfied that he understands the nature of the charges against him, the consequences of his plea, and that he's freely and voluntarily tendering his plea today?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Williams, are you offering your plea freely and voluntarily of your own accord with full understanding of all matters as set forth in your indictment?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Do you have any questions about your case or your plea before I decide whether or not to accept your plea?
As far as the entire time I've been locked up, in total it's been 17 months.
We'll deal, LaDante, I'll deal with the court and the DA's office in regard to the time frame on all of that.
Okay.
Okay, was that the only questions you had?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a United States citizen?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Court is satisfied the defendant understands the nature of the charges against him, the consequences of his plea, and that he freely and voluntarily tenders his plea to this court. Therefore, it's hereby ordered the defendant's plea be accepted and order the plea form be made a part of the record. Now, what's the recommendation from the state, Ms. Miller?
Your Honor, the recommendation as to count 1 is 10 years to serve 3 years. We're asking that restitution be held open. That would only be in relation to the stolen firearms. I don't believe we're going to be asking for any restitution, so we'd ask that that close after 90 days if any restitution does not come forward. $25,000 fine, special conditions of drug and alcohol evaluation and treatment, Fourth Amendment waiver, and probation fees. Count 2 would merge into count 1. Count 3 would merge into count 2. Count 4 would be 3 years probation to run concurrent with count 1. Count 5 would merge into count 4. Count 6 would be 3 years probation to run concurrent with count 1. Count 7 would be 3 years probation to run concurrent with count 1. Count 8 would be 3 years probation to run concurrent with count 1. And count 9 would be 12 months probation to run concurrent with count 1.
As to count 2 merging into count 1, is it because it's the way that you have it charged?
Yes, Your Honor, it's possession with intent of the same substance that he's charged with trafficking.
And the same amount?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Jackson, is there anything further on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, we had somewhat of a complicated matter, but we were able to work some issues out with the state. I appreciate the state working with me on this to get this resolved. And that's about it at this point.
Okay. Are there any deviations from the statutory mandatory minimums, Ms. Miller?
There isn't. On this one, the trafficking in ecstasy has a minimum of 3 years, so we are falling within that. Same thing with the fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I don't have a problem like we had before.
Yes, Your Honor.
And are there any parole issues?
There should not be in reference to this case. It would be the standard, no deviations from what he should expect to have on parole.
Very well.
Your Honor, the way I usually handle that, I apologize. The way I usually handle that is we got to go through some of the guidelines, but the bottom line at the end of the day is parole. As I've been told by parole will do what parole wants to do. And so he's been made aware of that. I think his biggest concern is the credit for time served that, and we'll address that when the court please.
So the 17 months that he's been serving here in the Clayton County Jail all relate to this offense? These
Well, there has been, so the time frame in which he, in regard to this case, is from May of 20 to this date in regard to this particular case.
Okay, so 12 months.
Yes, and the way
months.
he's coming up with the other is that he was incarcerated in Fulton County on a hold, I believe, from 1/20/20 to 5/20. So he was on hold from Fulton on the charges. He was in Fulton County on hold from Clayton County on these charges.
Okay,
And that would come up to approximately 17 months.
okay, well, he'll get credit for all of that. It's all related. So he was in Fulton
It-
holding on these charges.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so he would have otherwise been able to bond out.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, well, then
Yes.
he'll get credit. So to the extent that I'm going to put it in the order, and then the jail can calculate that. Okay, anything else further from anybody else? Ms. Miller, Mr. Jackson, before I pronounce the sentence?
I just want, before we leave, Your Honor, if Mr. Williams is okay with what we've just discussed in regard to the credit for time served.
Mr. Jackson?
Yeah.
I'm not Mr. Jackson, Mr. Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is this your understanding of what the recommendation will be from the state in exchange for your plea today?
One more time, Judge, I'm sorry.
Did you hear what the recommendation was from the state?
Correct, I did.
Okay. Is it your understanding that you're entering your plea in exchange for the recommendation, because it's negotiated, right?
Okay,
Are you entering your plea today in exchange for what the recommendation is that the state has provided?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, the sentence will be, count 1, 10 years to serve 3. Give me 1 second. you'll have to pay a $25,000 fine, drug and alcohol evaluation and treatment if necessary, including the requirement that you submit to random screens and searches. You'll have your monthly probation supervision fees as it relates to the restitution on the firearm. The stolen firearm restitution would be withheld for now, and that will only last for 90 days. So if the state doesn't present that back to the court within 90 days, that will go away. As to count 2, that will merge into count 1. Count 3 will merge into count 2. Count 4 is 3 years probation running concurrently with count 1. Count 5 will merge into count 4. Count 6 is 3 years probation running concurrently with count 1. Count 7 is 3 years probation running concurrently with count 1. Count 8, 3 years probation running concurrently with count 1. Count 9, 12 months probation running concurrently with count 1. You'll get the credit for the 17 months against the time that I've just pronounced. There may be other terms and conditions of your probation discussed with you in just a moment, Mr. Williams. Do you have any questions about your sentence?
No, ma'am, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, wait just a moment. I'm going to have you speak to Ms. Hardy from the probation department.
Okay.
All right. Anything else from you, Mr. Jackson? If not, you're free to leave.
No, Judge, thank you very much. I appreciate again the state, and y'all stay safe.
You too. Ms. Luncheon, are you ready? I think the corrections department didn't know how to come back over, so I just closed out the room. Give them 50 seconds. Ms. Hardy, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with the jail, Clayton County Jail. Give me 39 seconds and have to close out. And when you're finished with him, you can disconnect.
Okay.
That's Eugene Lamar, right? Ms. Luncheon. Okay,
Yes, Judge.
he'll be over in 5 seconds. There he is. Okay, Clayton County Jail, you're free to go into a breakout room with Ms. Hardy. I just sent you the link. Okay, Miss, what's the announcement, Ms. Luncheon, for your client?
We're gonna waive formal arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty.
Okay, Mr. Lamar. Okay, at the corrections department, can you unmute for me, please? Mr. Lamar, I understand from your attorney that you'd like to waive formal arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, very well. Ms. Mathis will note that for the record. Thank you, Corrections Department, for logging in today. You guys are free to disconnect. Ms. Gall, I see that you've joined the call.
Yes, Judge, I'm here. Turning
Okay,
on. There you go.
who was your client?
Apparently it's Antonio Escamilla, Judge. I
Okay.
apologize. I had in my system that he'd hired private at prelim and closed him out, but he's not closed in the system, so he's still mine.
Your client. Okay, I have the jail in a breakout session with Ms. Hardy on probation. It's just arraignment. So if you can give me a few moments, I will bring him up.
No problem, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Scott, do you need to talk to your client?
Yes, Judge, if I could very quickly.
Okay. Okay, you all at the jail, can you enable the breakout room for Mr. Escamilla to talk to his client? I talk to his attorney. Yes, ma'am.
Michael.
Judge Malone,
Intake.
Yes.
Antonio Escamilla
Huh?
needs an interpreter.
Okay, thank
He
you.
can understand English, but he can't really speak it as well.
Okay. Simone, can you check with the court administrator's office to see if they can get an interpreter on? And while they're doing that, I'm over here looking at this April 29th video. Our interpreter, Ms. Bermudez, has joined us. Can we have Mr. Escamilla back? Yes, Your Honor. And then I'll put you all in a breakout room. It should not take very long, but while you're there, I'll go to Mr. Hopti.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, I'm going to open up the breakout room for the three of you. So go ahead and accept that invitation, Jill. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Bermudez, Ms. Gall. Okay. All right, now back to Mr. Hopti. The video from the proceedings happened to have been deleted, so I don't have that to go by. Now, Mr. Hopti, can you come on and show your screen? Come back on. When you were in court, now you're driving.
I'm pulling over now. I'm headed to work. I'm pulling over now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir, when you joined court on April 29th, how did you appear in the participants list?
I had clicked the link and it just kept loading. I was at work at the time. I worked 16 hours. I was at work and I was trying to join it. And I got the link the day before. So my bonding company, they never got any court date or anything. Like I've been in contact with them for the whole year. I've been in contact with them and they never got anything. I never got anything in the mail. I got an email the day before. Well, 2 days before, April 27th. I got the proof of that and everything. I got it April 27th and I tried to do the Zoom link. I was really not aware on how to do it. I had somebody else do this for me, so I was able to come on now. But I've been trying.
Okay, how did you actually join the Zoom court hearing, or you were trying to join?
It said it joined, but I didn't see anybody, and I didn't it was nothing there for me. I didn't. It said it joined though. Once I clicked the link, it went on, and it was just sitting there. I didn't see anybody on there. Not how it is now.
All right, so you were never in the participants list, right?
I guess I don't know what the participants list
This
is.
is a list of all the names, so like I can see your name now. You did not appear in the participants list.
I didn't see no other names, no.
Okay. I find it to be a credible statement. So the only notes that I have, it was a bench warrant bond forfeiture that was issued for you for failing to appear. I don't think you appeared. You might have tried to appear, but nothing. My court reporter takes very copious notes. That's why I asked you about the participants list, because she had a list of everybody who was on the Zoom proceeding that day, and your name was not there. So I wanted to just check the veracity of what your statement would be, and you said you weren't there. So my request is to lift a bench warrant and have him enter his whatever plea he's going to enter today.
Thank you, Your Honor. We'll be entering a not guilty, waiving formal arraignment, and asking for 10 days to file motions.
You have to give us some time because you need to pull this case, Ms. Miller.
Yes, Judge, we will.
Ms. Mathis, we'd have to pull it as well. Did you have an opportunity just in that time, Allison, to pull his accusation?
I haven't yet, Your Honor. I can now, though.
Okay. It's Hobdy, Hobdy.
Yes.
Ms. Miller, are you able to send me the documents to rescind this bench warrant?
I can, Your Honor. I'll just send it via consent if that's the court's intention. I have no objection to that.
Yes, that's what I will be doing. And Mr. Hobbs, going forward, this will be your only opportunity because it is recorded. I will have this. You will have to contact the office if you feel like you did not get into the Zoom. We'll be doing Zoom for a while.
Okay. I'm pretty good at it now. I clicked the link and I came right in. So
Okay. Okay, so let me ask this just on the record. Your attorney has advised that you want to waive formal arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty. Is that correct?
yes.
Okay, we will note the not guilty on your file. And Ms. Porter, you have 10 days to get your documents in to file your motions.
Thank you, Your Honor. May he be excused?
He may be excused.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
You're welcome. Now, Mr. Escamilla, Ms. Gall, what's the pleasure of Mr. Escamilla?
Judge, at this time, we'll waive formal arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty, request 10 days to file motions.
Okay. Mr. Escamilla, I understand from your attorney that you'd like to waive formal arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty today. Is that correct?
Correcto. Regrese mañana. Okay.
Okay, sir. Would you like to waive formal arraignment and enter a plea of not guilty today?
O es que puedo hacerle una pregunta.
Yes.
Pues que me están poniendo de tráfico y yo solo tengo posesión. Yo tenía posesión nomás. Mi cargo es de posesión, no tráfico.
Okay, did your attorney advise you to enter a plea of not guilty so that she can investigate further your case?
La abogada, o sea, apenas ahorita la estoy conociendo a ella. Nunca había hablado con ella, pues no. Hasta ahorita que usted me está diciendo eso, pues.
Okay, is it not guilty today, sir? You have two options, guilty or not guilty.
Pero tengo yo otra audiencia pronto.
You have another opportunity to speak to her. Yes.
Sí, está bien.
What is it, guilty or not guilty?
No culpable.
All right, not guilty. Okay, I think that concludes court for today. Mr. Escamilla, you can go back. Did I miss anybody?
No, Judge, can I just have a moment, maybe off of YouTube, with the Public Defender's Office and yourself?
Yeah. We can go to the breakout room. Everybody else is free to leave.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Who else is